Channel, the world leader in outdoor entertainment.
An alligator has many ways it can hurt you. His head is solid bone. If he hits you with his head, he can break any bone in your body, your legs, your back, anything. If he can hit you with a tail, he can knock your face off. He can take your knee out of place. His jaws is the main thing. The crushing power that an alligator has is unimaginable. I mean, he can crush anything.
I need to approach him head on. Alligators don't see well directly in front of them. To approach him from the side would be certain death. He's backing up, moving under the branches. I've got to get under him to avoid those massive jaws. He is enormous. I can't let go now. If I do, he will rip me to pieces.
This is beyond what I thought it would look like. And the birds here are extraordinary. And it's not so much visually or like how they look, but the sounds, you know. And you can, if you really focus, you can hear about 7 different birds, you know.
Everything wild in this part of Patagonia seems so much more intense when isolated from any sign of civilization. And the beauty of fly fishing allows nature's concert to ring true and clear. It can clear the mind and rejuvenate the soul.
There it is. There you go.
Until interrupted by yet another fish.
Yes. Good one. Oh, I thought he was bigger. He's a nice fish, huh?
Oh,
yeah.
My God. What do you want? That's 20 plus.
Good move.
I saw that thing jump on the other side of the log. I thought it broke off.
Tournament fishing, it's a great way to kind of maximize that feeling you get, competition feeling, as well as a chance to bass fish. Ultimate match fishing reminds me of the final hour in a major event.
If you think intensity and fishing don't go together, just ask Boyd Duckett. He's on the move and the clock is ticking. With just minutes left in the quarter, Boyd has to swing for the fences here to put some heat on Ish Monroe going into the 4th and final quarter.
Fish. Another short one, I believe. If it makes it, it's going to be super close.
Those copper colors are sure distinct, aren't they?
Yeah, very pretty, but they blend in quite good with the
areas,
and then some of the rocks you can see it kind of.
Not long after they set up in the shadows, a couple of copper springboks from a mixed herd made their way closer to the team. As they waited, they couldn't help but marvel at the copper's beautifully distinctive coloring that almost seemed to glow in the desert heat.
There's a lot of wallabies in the area, and they tend to break cover and scare the deer.
Yeah.
So we try and skirt around them if we see them sitting, you know, in the path. But it's very important, I think, to try and go as quietly and as slowly as we can, and then try and find a good stag and assess him for trophy quality, making sure that he has all the points intact, that he's got good length, good spread, a good long wide palm, and good brow, tray and guard tines.
Okay, Mike. Now turning. Good. Is good. Okay, shoot.
How did you know that this was the stag that we wanted? Because we saw a lot of stags there, and we've seen a lot all day long. Why this one?
Yeah, this is classic wild stag. Classic. Look at it. Is 12 pointer.
Right.
Is beautiful color. Is black. Black color is white tips. You know. Is sharp. No big. You know. No big antlers.
Not like some of the big
yes.
estate stags that have
yes.
47 points or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, he starts to get a basket here. The next thing a stag grows is another point up here, and then he becomes a 14-point stag. Sometimes in free range you can find 14-point stags, but in New Zealand it's very difficult to find a 14.
Let's go into our 7 deadly tactics. In this one, I'd like to talk about stand access. Access may be the most critical point to any given hunt, because if you bump out the deer on your way to the stand, your hunt's over before it gets started. Access can vary depending on the time of the year. Early season, you've literally got a vegetative screen that can hide your approach to almost any stand. If you're careful, you can get in there without bumping a deer. They hold very tight to their bed during the early season. This part of the year, during the central part of November, as we see here with Josh, it's a little less critical because you've got deer going every which direction. You can be a little bit more carefree, if you will, bump some deer out. It's not as big a deal because they're covering more ground. However, if you take your time and you expect the unexpected, you can actually be successful just as Josh did there.
There's miles, they're endless. I mean, you can go probably from one end of the state to the other end of the state.
There's so many trails, so many opportunities. It's basically wherever you've got time, energy, and gas, you can go as far as you want.
One thing you'll notice right away about our group,
it's got to be the Razor and the Razor S.
We brought the speed.
You get into like the Razor S and it's effortless. You can go through the gnarliest rock climbs and it's easy to do. Had it for a year now, and the more I drive it, the more I love it.
I just want to get this freaking piece of crap done. I seriously thought this was going to be the easiest thing we were going to do. We took the lock system and we were beginning to put it in the truck again. And, you know, as we were doing that, it just wasn't going in right again. Yeah, we're going to have to trim it up. It was just not working out right. I was just getting sick of it.
Morgan was just like, that job made him really uptight, you know? He wanted to get it right because his one looked like a goof. I was getting really frustrated. I was getting hot and I was just had a bunch of crap all over my face.
Rock crawling combines some of the most technological advances in suspension with the sheer balance and explosive power of an NBA point guard. What does it take to get a truck ready for a world-class competition?
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to help him, and I'm tired.
I've taken on some of the baddest video game trails around, but can my skills on the joystick actually help me survive a steep, stony pass?
Okay, you're clear front and rear, all the way through. I felt like I was part of that truck and that I was walking over the boulders myself.
Some legends are born, others become legends.
Nice.
And some have legendary misses.
It's too much, dude. It's too much.
Meet Joe Vegas.
That was nice.
Or as everyone simply calls him, Joe.
I'm done.
Now Joe will be the first one to admit.
I'm not a good fisherman. I'm not.
But legends don't always have to be the best.
Oh, only one chance, man. If it don't work out, the guys weren't with you, that's for sure. If you ever think that you're a good fisherman, then you're never going to reach the next level. You always have to stay humble, no matter what it is in life, but especially fishing.
Boca Grande Pass on the west coast of Florida is the finest tarpon fishing spot in the world. Beginning each April, thousands of these silver giants, fish anywhere from 60 to as much as 200 pounds stack up here. And for the next 4 months, anglers from around the world flock here to do battle. When the fish are chewing and you're the one on the rod, hang on, because unless you know what you're doing, it's a good bet you've never felt anything like this. 2 tips. Number 1, fish jumps, you bow, or you break off. Number 2, next, always remember, danger lurks with every wave. Fish will jump in your boat.
Now, the coral trout comes from a family of several species, the blue spot, of course, being the biggest of all. And they range in territory from the western Pacific all the way across to the Coral Sea. And some of the biggest ones of all are known to live and reside in the waters off of Vanuatu. There he is, there he is, there he is.
This has all the feel of a trout take, which means don't let him cut you off on his dive for razor-sharp coral.
This is a good fish. This is a good fish. Yeah.
I think this could be a monster.
get him out of the rocks. I gotta get him out of the rocks. He's got it. He's got it. Here he comes. Here he comes. I think that's it, mate. You wanted a monster. You got him. Now there's a monster coral trout. Wow. That's one of the biggest trout I've pulled out of here. Good stuff.